I'm not tired. I don't know why I was yawning. A yawn is your brain needing oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
How much you want to bet?
Google it.
My brain's about to shut down now for that nonsense you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? They're contagious. So there at least has to be a part 2. I was going to ask Siri because she's a genius.
According to Good Health, one is that when we are bored or tired, we just don't breathe as deeply as we usually do. As this theory goes, our bodies take in less oxygen because our breathing has slowed. Therefore, yawning helps us bring more oxygen into the blood and move more carbon dioxide out of the blood.
Keyword theory. You just yawned. Hello, adventurer! So in this episode, we are going to show you how to set up one of those virtual events that we talked about in one of our last episodes. Virtual events are amazing because there is that depth of distance. We can get together and collaborate and work together, train, have parties all around the world. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So creating an event is pretty easy. We're just going to go over here and go to where our events are, but we're going to go right over here and we're going to create an event. And so it's going to ask me a couple things here. And so on your phone, you can do that the same. And what's really great is even on the desktop, this pretty much is the same exact information. The only really difference between creating that on a mobile device and a desktop is that the first part of creating an event is exactly the same. On the desktop, you can add a picture kind of that cover photo area. So the event name, we're going to create a behind the scenes 100-day adventure filming. What we're going to do is Jeremiah and I decide that we are going to create a live event that if you want to see one of the filmings, we are going to do one live so they can say behind the scenes. In that title, just make sure that that title just is going to stand out and it's descriptive. So here's where I fill out the description and add a little more information if there was a hashtag. So sometimes in this area, this is where I'm going to say, hey, here I'm doing this live Q&A. If you have a question, post it as an individual post. And so we are going to make that for tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I can make the end optional. And so we're just gonna make this an hour long. And then the privacy. So what I can do is I can say, hey, I wanna do this invite only, or I want this to be guests and friends, people invited, or any friends of anyone who's going. I always wanna make that an open invite for something like this. But again, you can do a private invite there. I selected that. And so I am done and boom, it's just that easy to create that event. I can always go back and edit that. I also can give post updates. So now that I have this event, one of the things I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to invite people. So I can share that event or I can choose friends. So I might share this event on my timeline, but I also can specifically invite friends. And then you see over here, I can actually copy that link and that's where I could tweet that link or I could put it in other places. Also, prior to the event, I could have some update posts. So I can go here and now I'm posting to the actual page. I can have pictures, hey, we're setting up, anything that we're doing there. I'm leaving posts just there. But as you can see, it's pretty easy to set up an event. So when you set up your event, there's a lot of different ways that you can use this. So for example, the other day I did a live Q&A. And if I just would have posted a message that says, hey, I'm answering any of your questions, that feed's gonna get like really, really long. Now that would be great if I was trying to have a post go out to a lot of people. So it says leave a question as a post, and then the question that you'd like to see answered most, like that. So I will skim through, see which one has the most likes, and then start there. And then I will answer some of those questions. And then for some people, if you saw one of the questions that you liked, you can just leave a comment. And then what that will do is they will get notified if I will go back and answer that question. So it becomes a really great format that I probably couldn't have done that in other ways. Other ideas as well. So let's say that we were throwing a virtual party. We could say, take that selfie of you having pie, put that on the event page, and the one that gets the most likes wins a prize. Or one of the cool features is I could actually have a poll. So I can ask a question, but I can put multiple choice. So the pie party that we did that as a Google Hangout on air, which all that is that it takes that Google Hangout, it broadcasts it to YouTube, but it puts it inside of a Google event, which all these things still apply. What we could have done was we could have taken that link and we could have also created a Facebook event and put that link inside of it, or we could have had the actual Google Hangout on there, that feed. We could have posted that right there on that Facebook timeline. And so now that is expanding and that's growing. So you see, there's a lot of different interactive ways where we can make that adventure live inside of that virtual space. Once you set up your event and once you have ideas to have a really great event, one thing that you have to do though is before you start that event is make sure that you promote it. So if you want that to be an open invitation, one of the things is that you can invite friends, but what's great is if that's open, those friends could also invite people, and that's a way for it to grow. Also, you can take that event and you can post it on your page. Also, if there's a specific person that might be a guest or part of it, then I can mention them in a post on that event because I'm keeping people updated. I can keep people engaged leading up to the day of that event, and I can have the polls that we talked about, and I can post different things that we're getting ready, but I also can mention people in that so that they are kind of drawn into that event that, hey, this person's gonna be a special guest, or this person's gonna be here because they're gonna be playing in a band or whatever, and then they're getting mentioned, and that brings them to the event, and then they might also invite people. You'll also see that we can have a link. And so we can take that link, and besides that I'm just posting my event on my timeline, I can take the link and I could tweet that out. Or I could put something on Instagram and then say link in bio and put that link in the bio to invite that. So you see, there's so many different ways. The important thing is to have fun. Don't get bogged down on the buttons in the technology. Say, hey, let's try some things. That is actually what I want you to do as your next step, is I want you to play and have an event. Now, what you'll want to do is set that privacy to private and then reach out to maybe a couple people on your team or one of your friends and say, hey, I want to test out this new thing. Can you help me? Have one or two people in that, and then say, try some things, get used to that so you be ready for your next virtual event. Now remember, social media is not your adventure, but this gets pretty close and your adventure begins right now.